The holographic scanner flared crimson, bathing the corridor in bloody light. The alien symbol scrolled faster than most species could read, but Zhask Torven was not most species. He was Kryllian, apex predator stock, bred from a lineage that had conquered 17 star systems before his third molting season. The warning was clear, laughably clear. Subject identified. Species classification: Earthborn human, Homo sapiens. Threat level: extreme. Combat rating: unquantifiable. Previous encounters: 14 fatalities, 0 survivors. Recommendation: avoid all contact. Do not engage. Evacuate the sector immediately. Zhask read it twice, then threw his head back and released a sound that could only be described as contempt-given voice. His mandibles clicked together in amusement, the chittering echoing off the metal walls of the orbital station. Behind him, his entourage of lesser Kryllians shifted nervously, their exoskeletons creaking. "You see this?" Zhask gestured at the scanner with one of his forearms, his translator chip converting his words into universal standard. "Earthborn, do not engage." As if some soft-skinned mammal from a backwater planet could pose a threat to me. His second-in-command, a smaller Kryllian named Quinn, touched his shoulder with a claw. "Commander, perhaps we should heed the warning. The database does not issue extreme classifications without a verified cause. 14 fatalities." 14 weaklings, Zhask interrupted, shoving Quinn aside. "Probably merchants and diplomats. Soft targets who never held a blade or felt battle lust in their veins. I am Zhask Torven, champion of the Kryllian death pits, conqueror of the Andorian rebellions. I have killed with every weapon known to Galactic Collective, and with several weapons I invented myself." He stepped forward. The scanner shrieked another warning. He ignored it. The door hissed open. Inside the chamber, which the station records listed as Detention Hold 17, the temperature dropped noticeably. The air tasted recycled, stale, like it had been breathed too many times by something that should not be breathing. The walls were scratched, deep gouges that looked disturbingly deliberate, methodical, almost artistic in their violence. In the center of the room, sitting cross-legged on the floor, was a human female. She was small, ridiculously small. Zhask stood nearly 3 meters tall in his armor, and she would barely reach his chest plates. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, with darker markings beneath the surface that his scanner identified as bruising and old scars. Her hair was cut short, jagged, like she had done it herself with something sharp and without a mirror. Her eyes were closed. She was not restrained, not chained, not behind a force field, just sitting there, breathing. Zhask felt a flicker of something unfamiliar in his thorax. Not fear. Kryllians did not experience fear. Perhaps it was anticipation. Yes, battle hunger. That was it. "Open your eyes, Earthborn," he commanded, his voice amplified by his armor speakers. "Stand and face your death with dignity." The human did not move, did not acknowledge his presence. Her chest rose and fell in a rhythm so slow it seemed almost meditative. In, out, in, out. Quinn whispered from the doorway, "Commander, the file." "Look at the file." Zhask pulled up the data on his wrist display, scanning impatiently. Name: Kerra Vance. Age: 29 standard cycles. Origin: Earth, the third planet, the Sol system. Previous occupation: soldier, special operations designation. Current status: detained pending trial for 6 counts of homicide, 11 counts of aggravated assault, and 3 counts of destruction of property valued over 1 million credits. A soldier, Zhask mused, his mandibles spreading in what passed for a smile among his kind. Even better, at least you will know how to die properly. He took another step forward. His armor sensors screamed warnings. Adrenaline analogs, they claimed. Heart rate elevated. Temperature rising. Threat assessment critical. Still, Kerra Vance did not open her eyes. "Do you know why I am here, human?" Zhask asked, circling her slowly. His claws scraped against the metal floor, leaving fresh scratches to join the hundreds already there. 3 cycles ago, you killed my cousin. broke his neck in a supply depot on Station Gamma 7. He was unarmed, defenseless, and you killed him like he was nothing. That got a reaction. Not much of one. Just the slightest upturn at the corner of her mouth. A micro-expression that the translator could not process, but that Zhask instinctively recognized. Amusement. Unarmed, she said. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the room like a blade through flesh. Defenseless. She opened her eyes. They were gray, the color of ship hull metal, and they fixed on Zhask with an intensity that made his third heart stutter. Your cousin tried to abduct 3 human children from a refugee transport. He had them by their necks. He was squeezing. I asked him to stop. I asked 3 times. And so you murdered him. No. Kerra Vance stood in one fluid motion. No hand for balance, just muscle memory and perfect control. She was shorter than he thought, more compact. Everything about her seemed compressed, like a coiled spring. I stopped him. The fact that stopping him required me to rotate his skull 180 degrees was incidental, a necessary consequence, cause and effect. Zhask laughed, actually laughed. The sound was not pleasant. You speak of necessity? I speak of honor. A blood debt. My family demands satisfaction, and I am here to collect. Your family, Kerra repeated slowly, bred warriors for 15 generations. Genetic manipulation, combat conditioning from birth, cybernetic enhancements, performance drugs. You stand there in powered armor worth more than a small colony, carrying weapons that could level a city block. And you talk about honor. She took a step forward. Just one. Where's your honor in that? I offer you a chance, Zhask snarled, feeling his temper rise. This creature, this insignificant mammal, dare to lecture him about honor? Single combat. You and I. No weapons. Just skill and strength. No weapons. Kerra tilted her head. You are wearing a full combat exoskeleton with integrated blade systems, shock projectors, and kinetic dampeners. Take it off. The chamber fell silent. Quinn made a strangled sound from the doorway. Another Kryllian Malder actually stepped backward. Zhask felt his battle lust surge. You want me to remove my armor? To face you with nothing but my natural strength. You said no weapons, Kerra replied, her voice still that same quiet, controlled tone. Your armor is a weapon. Your enhancements are weapons. I am asking for equal terms. Or was that honor speech just noise? Just clicking and chittering that means nothing. For a moment, Zhask considered walking away. Consider sealing the door and spacing this entire section of the station. But his pride would not allow it. His bloodline would not allow it. He had boasted to the entire Kryllian Council that he would avenge his cousin's death. He had accepted tribute and oaths on the promise of this human's demise. He began removing his armor. The maglocks hissed. The power cells disconnected. Piece by piece, the technological superiority fell away, clattering to floor. Helmet, chestplate, arm guards, the undergel that monitored his vitals. All of it. He stood before her in just his natural exoskeleton, still towering over her, still possessed of 4 arms tipped with natural claws that could punch through steel. His mandibles spread wide, showing the serrated edges that had torn through enemy flesh on a dozen worlds. Better, he asked. Kerra Vance rolled her shoulders, a peculiar human gesture that caused several joints to pop audibly. Better. She raised her hands, palm up, fingers spread, empty, completely vulnerable. Come kill me then, warrior. Claim your blood debt. Show me the honor of the Kryllian people. Zhask charged. He was fast, faster than most species could track. His multiple limbs gave him an advantage in grappling. His weight, nearly 4 times hers, should have ended this in seconds. He crossed the distance between them in less than a heartbeat, all 4 arms reach and grab, to rend, to crush. Kerra Vance was not there. She had moved. Not away, not backward, inward. She had stepped inside his reach, inside the killing arc of his claws, and she had done something with her hands. Something quick and precise that Zhask's combat-trained mind could not quite process. Pain exploded in his lower left arm. Not from a cut, not from a break. From something worse. Dislocation. She had grabbed his wrist and elbow simultaneously and twisted in a direction that joints were not meant to bend. The arm went limp, useless, neural signals screaming conflicting messages. He struck with his other 3 arms, trying to compensate, trying to catch her. She flowed around his attacks like water, like smoke, like something that obeyed different physical laws. Every movement was minimal, efficient, nothing wasted. And every time she touched him, something went wrong. His lower right leg collapsed. Hyperextension of the knee joint. His right middle arm lost sensation. Nerve cluster strike. His mandibles cracked. Heel palm to the hinge point. How long did it take? 10 seconds? 20? Time stopped meaning anything. There was only pain and confusion, and the growing, horrible realization that he made a catastrophic error in judgment. Kerra Vance drove her knee into his thorax. The air exploded from his lungs. She grabbed his antenna, the sensitive neural stalks that protruded from his skull, and she used them as leverage. She pulled him down to her level, until they were face to face. "Your cousin," she said, her gray eyes boring into his. "Grabbed children, innocent children. He was going to sell them. Do you understand that? Do not kill them cleanly in combat. Do not challenge them honorably. He was going to put them in cages and sell them to the highest bidder. And when I asked him to stop, when I begged him to release them, do you know what he said to me?" Zhask could not speak. His translator was damaged. His breathing was labored. Kerra leaned closer, her voice dropping to barely a whisper. He said that humans were soft, weak, barely worth the effort of harvesting. He said we were insects, beneath notice, beneath contempt. She paused, and then I showed him exactly how wrong he was. Her hand moved his throat, just rested there, gentle, almost tender. "I will show you the same lesson," she said. "But I will not kill you. Not today. Because you, Zhask Torven, are going to leave this room. You are going to return to your council. And you are going to tell them exactly what happened here. You are going to tell them that the scanner was right, that the warning was accurate, that Earthborn means danger, that human means death." She released him. He collapsed to the floor, a heap of broken limbs and shattered pride. Kerra Vance stepped back, breathing normally, not even winded. She looked at Quinn and Mulder, still frozen in the doorway. Anyone else? They ran. The door sealed behind them. The emergency locks engaged. Red lights began strobing, and somewhere alarms began to wail. Kerra returned to her spot in the center of the room. She sat down, cross-legged, and closed her eyes. Her heart rate slowed. Her breathing became that same meditative rhythm. In, out, in, out. And in the corner of the room, Zhask Torven lay broken and humiliated, learning the hardest lesson of his life. Never ignore the warnings. Station Commander Velix Thrain was having the worst day of his career, possibly the worst day of his life. Definitely the worst day since he had taken command of Orbital Platform 94, the so-called neutral ground where species from across the galaxy came to settle disputes, trade goods, and generally pretend they were civilized. The hologram projector in his office flickered, showing the same security footage for the 17th time. He watched Zhask Torven, champion of the Kryllian death pits, decorated war hero, terror of 6 systems, get systematically dismantled by a human female who weighed maybe 60 kilograms soaking wet. "Turn it off," Velix said quietly. His security chief, a 4-eyed Vexian named Porl, did not turn it off. "Sir, you need to see this. The Kryllian delegation is demanding her immediate execution. They are claiming assault, attempted murder, and violation of detention protocols." Violation of detention protocols? Velix laughed, but there was no humor in it. She was sitting in her cell. He walked in. He attacked her. Our own sensors confirm it. They claim he was exercising his legal right to challenge her under Kryllian honor law. "Kryllian honor law does not apply on my station," Velix snapped, his scales rippling with agitation. "Galactic Federation law applies. And under Federation law, what I just watched was clear-cut self-defense." He paused. Excessive self-defense, perhaps, but still self-defense. Porl shifted his weight nervously. "Sir, The Kryllian fleet is requesting docking clearance. 7 warships. They will be in range within 3 hours. Velix felt his stomach drop. 7 warships. Because of one human. One small, terrifying, impossible human who had somehow become the most dangerous person on a station without ever leaving her cell. Get me a communication line to Earth Command. Velix ordered. And get me everything we have on Kerra Vance. I want to know who she is, what she did, and why the galaxy's most advanced attention scanners are treating her like a walking apocalypse. Porl hesitated. Sir, we already pulled her file. It is incomplete. Large sections are redacted, classified above our clearance level. Of course it is, Velix muttered. Of course it is. 30 minutes later, Velix stood outside Attention Hold 17, staring at the door like it might bite him. Behind him, a full security detail waited, armed with neural disruptors, stun nets, and enough firepower to bring down a small army. They looked terrified. He could not blame them. He was terrified, too. The door opened with a hiss. Velix entered alone, against the advice of literally everyone. Kerra Vance was exactly where the previous footage showed her. Sitting, breathing, eyes closed. Zhask Torven had been dragged out hours ago, his injuries catalogued, his ego shattered beyond repair. The medical said he would recover. Eventually. Mostly. Miss Vance, Velix said carefully, keeping his distance. May I speak with you? Those gray eyes opened, fixed on him. He felt the weight of that gaze, the calculation behind it, the assessment of threat versus non-threat that happened in microseconds. You are the station commander, Kerra said. Not a question, a statement. Velix Thrain, yes. He gestured toward the scratches on the walls, the blood stains that cleaning drones had tried and failed to fully remove. Quite the accommodations you have made for yourself. A slight smile, barely there. The previous guests were not very friendly. They learned. 6 previous encounters, Velix said, pulling up his datapad. Before Zhask Torven, a Vorgash mercenary who thought you would be an easy mark. 2 Centauri brothers who wanted to, quote, test the human durability claims. A Draxian enforcer collecting a bounty. A Kelsh trader who got, let us say, overly aggressive during what he thought was a negotiation. And a Threan assassin who was paid 50,000 credits to end you quietly. 50,000, Kerra mused. I am almost insulted. That seems low. They are all dead, Velix continued. Every single one. And according to medical reports, each one died from a different technique, different methods. Like you were, I don't know, experimenting, testing variables. Kerra stood. Velix forced himself not to step back. She walked slowly around the room, trailing her fingers along the scratched walls. Station Commander Thrain, why are you here? You could have sent security. You could have activated gas dispensers or neural dampeners, or any of the dozen systems this room is equipped with. But you came yourself, unarmed, unprotected. She turned to face him. Why? Because I want to understand, Velix admitted. The galaxy has thousands of species, tens of thousands of warrior cultures. I have seen Kryllians fight. I have seen Vorgash rage. I have witnessed Draxian combat fury. But this, he gestured at her. This is something else. Something I do not recognize. And I need to understand it before 7 Kryllian warships arrive and turn my station into a debris field. Kerra was quiet for a long moment. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. It was a strange sound, bitter and bright at the same time. You want to understand humans. You want to know why we are dangerous. Why do the scanners scream warnings? Why trained killers from a dozen worlds keep making the mistake of thinking we are weak? Yes. She moved to the center of the room and sat down again, gesturing for him to do the same. After a moment of hesitation, Velix lowered himself to the floor, his tail curling around his legs. Tell me, Commander, Kerra said, what is your species' homeworld like? Vexor Prime. Gravity 0.87 standard. The temperature range is optimal for our biology. 2 moons. Abundant resources. Very, very stable. Predators? A few. Small ones. We evolved past them quickly. Kerra nodded slowly. Earth has a gravity of exactly one standard, because Earth is a standard. We are the baseline that the galaxy measures itself against. But Earth is not stable. Commander, Earth is a nightmare planet that spent billions of years trying to kill everything on it. She held up one hand, counting on her fingers, ice ages that froze continents, volcanic eruptions that blacked out the sun for years, meteor impacts that have deleted entire species, earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, diseases that spread faster than wildfire, and predators. Oh, the predators. Her eyes grew distant. We had tigers that could bite through bone, bears that stood 4 meters tall, crocodiles that waited in rivers for years just to get one meal, sharks that have remained unchained for 400 million years because they achieved perfect killing efficiency and never needed to evolve further, snakes with venom that could drop a grown adult in seconds, insects that carry plagues, bacteria that could not be seen but could end civilizations. Velix listened, fascinated and horrified. Humans are not the strongest species Earth produced, Kerra continued. We are not the fastest, not the most venomous, not the best climbers or swimmers, or flyers. We are not even close. Do you know what we are? What? Stubborn. She leaned forward. We are the species that refuse to die. We are the species that looked at tigers and said, I will make a tool to kill you from a distance. We looked at cold and invented fire. We looked at disease and invented medicine. We looked at the ocean and built ships. We looked at the sky and built aircraft. We looked at space itself and said, I am going there too. Her voice grew harder. Every other species in the galaxy evolved on worlds that wanted them to succeed. Kind words. Gentle. Your planets raise you like parents raise children. Earth raised us like a boot camp raises soldiers. It threw everything at us. It tested us. It tried to break us. And we survived anyway. Not because we were strong. Because we refused to quit. Velix felt something cold settle in his stomach. The scanner warnings. Are accurate, Kerra finished. You want to know why I am dangerous? Not because I am strong. Zhask Torven was stronger. Not because I am fast. That Draxian was faster. Not because I have weapons or armor or cybernetics. I am dangerous because I am human. Because 10,000 generations of survivors are encoded in my genetics. Because I have been trained since birth in the art of turning disadvantage into advantage. Because I know 300 ways to kill someone with my bare hands, and I invented 12 of them myself. She met his eyes. Because when someone threatens me, when someone attacks me, when someone tries to hurt the people I protect, I do not panic. I do not freeze. I calculate. I adapt. I execute. And I do not stop until the threat is eliminated. You could have run, Velix said quietly, after you killed Zhask's cousin. You could have fled, hidden, changed your identity. The galaxy is vast. I could have, Kerra agreed, but I did not, because I am not ashamed of what I did. That Kryllian was hurting children, human children who had already lost everything, who were refugees from a colony that was destroyed by pirates. They were scared. They were crying, and he was going to sell them. So I stopped him, and I would do it again, and again, and again, forever. She stood. Do you understand now, Commander? I am not a monster. I am not some aberration. I am exactly what humans become when you push us, when you threaten what we love. When you make the mistake of thinking that because we are small or soft or peaceful by choice, we are weak by nature. Velix stood as well, his mind racing. The Kryllian fleet will be here soon. They will demand justice, extradition, execution. Let them demand, Kerra said simply. I am not leaving this cell. I am not resisting. I will stand trial under whatever law you choose. I will accept whatever punishment you deem fair, but I will not apologize. And I will not let anyone make me regret protecting those children. Velix started to respond, but his communicator chirped urgently. He activated it. Thrain here. Sir, you need to see this. It was Porl, his voice strained. The Kryllian fleet just dropped out of warp, but so did something else. Multiple vessels. Big ones. They are hailing us. Who? Earth Defense Fleet, sir. 12 ships. 3 of them are dreadnoughts. They are taking up position between us and the Kryllians. And, sir, they are broadcasting one message on all channels on repeat. What message? There was a pause. Then Porl's voice came back, quieter. Kerra Vance is under protection of the Earth Alliance. Any attempt to harm her will be considered an act of war. Stand down or be destroyed. Velix looked at Kerra. She looked at him. Neither spoke. Outside, in the cold darkness of space, 2 fleets faced each other. Weapons charged. Shields raised. Millions of lives hang in the balance over one woman who weighed 60 kilograms and could kill with her bare hands. They came for you, Velix whispered. They always do, Kerra replied. Humans do not abandon their own. Ever. It is one of our rules. It is coded into everything we are. You do not leave people behind. You do not let your own fall, even if it means war, even if it means death. You fight for each other. Always. The communicator chirped again. Sir, the Kryllians are requesting to speak with you. They sound, well, different. Put them through? A hologram materialized. It was not Zhask Torven. It was an older Kryllian, scarred and battle-worn, wearing ceremonial robes. Commander Thrain, I am Council Head Vex Torven. I believe you have met my grandson. I have met him, Velix confirmed carefully. Then you know he is a fool, Vex said bluntly. He ignored the warnings. He challenged an Earthborn. He lost. This is his shame to bear, not ours. The old Kryllian looked past Velix, directly at Kerra. Miss Vance, my cousin's actions were dishonorable. The abduction of children is beneath contempt. You acted within your rights. I apologize for his behavior, and I apologize for my grandson's behavior. This blood debt is satisfied. You owe us nothing. Kerra inclined her head slightly. Apology accepted. Council Head, your words bring honor to your house. Vex bowed. The hologram flickered out. Velix let out a breath he did not know he was holding. They backed down. They learned, Kerra corrected. The warnings exist for a reason. The scanners scream for a reason. The galaxy is full of strong species. But strength is not everything. Adaptability is. Resilience is. And we humans? We have spent our entire existence learning to turn weakness into strength. It is what we do. It is who we are. She smiled then, a real smile, not that dangerous half-expression from before. Besides, did you really think Earth would not come? We protect our own. That is the thing the galaxy keeps forgetting. You can threaten one human, but 12 billion more will hear about it. And they will come. They always come. Velix nodded slowly. The scanner was right. Earthborn, do not engage. Smart advice, Kerra agreed. I suggest you update the warning. Make it bigger, brighter, harder to ignore. What should it say? Kerra thought for a moment. Then she laughed, that same bitter bright sound. How about this? Warning. Earthborn human detected. These individuals are products of a death world that spent billions of years perfecting the art of survival. They are trained from birth to overcome superior force through intelligence, adaptability, and sheer determination. They do not surrender. They do not break. They do not forgive threats to their loved ones. Approach with extreme caution, or better yet, do not approach at all. Perfect, Velix said. Absolutely perfect. He turned to leave, then paused at the door. Miss Vance, the charges against you. I am dropping them. Self-defense, all of them. You are free to go. Kerra Vance stood in the center of her cell, surrounded by the scratches and bloodstains of those who had learned the hard way. She looked at the door at freedom, at the Earth fleet waiting beyond the station's walls. Thank you, Commander, she said. I think I will. And as she walked past him, as she stepped into the corridor where her people waited, Velix Thrain understood something fundamental about humans. Something the scanners had tried to tell him. Something Zhask Torven had learned too late. Humans were not strong because they could not be hurt. They were strong because they had been hurt so many times and kept getting back up. They were dangerous not because they wanted violence, but because they would do absolutely anything to protect what they loved. The scanner had been right. Earthborn, do not engage. Unless you wanted to learn exactly how fragile the line between predator and prey really was. Subscribe and like to my channel for more sci-fi stories.